kinds of things will take place at Comicpalooza this weekend. For some students building robots, it starts as a hobby, right? But for our next guest, it's a path to NASA, engineering, and future STEM careers. FIRST Robotics is helping students build more than just machines. It's building confidence, teamwork, and real-world skills. This weekend at Comicpalooza, they'll be part of a panel called Building the Future, one robot at a time, exploring how robotics is shaping tomorrow's workforce and communities. Joining us are FIRST Robotics head coaches Lucian Junkin and Monica Mann, along with their students and one of the, or actually two of the robots that they actually built, or a few of them, right?
Yeah,
All
sure.
right, good morning, how are you?
Good morning, Deborah.
Oh my gosh, how quickly things happen. You and I were both talking about when we were kids in school. Monica, you're a little bit younger than us, right? But we were in school, people would talk about robots and computers, and we're like, that's silly talk.
No computers, no robots, none of that back when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Until I got in high school.
And you actually worked for NASA.
Yes.
So
yeah.
you saw the benefits of teamwork and all of it.
Yeah, I've been at NASA for 30 years and been the head coach of the Robonauts for 29 years. And it is amazing to see the evolution that's gone about with students going from very young to engaging them before stereotypes with these robots like these FLL robots to robots like these robots over here that are 150 pounds.
Yeah,
So,
and I love when you say before stereotypes set in, because all the studies show that by the time girls reach middle school, they're about to trail off on going into STEM. And for some reason, by the time they reach high school, there are very few girls in STEM. And so we're wanting to change that by putting that imprint in sooner in elementary school.
absolutely. If you show a youngster a soccer ball, they will love soccer and know about soccer for their whole life.
Yeah.
Same way with robots. If
Oh.
we show them robots in the 2nd and 3rd grade, then they're off and running all the way through till they put rockets into space.
Monica.
Yes.
All right, so you were one of those kids, one of those curious kids that just want to understand how things work.
Yes, I am always taking things apart, much to my husband, Dr. Pryor's dismay. I love taking things apart, maybe not so good at putting them back together, but you know, I build Legos in my spare time. I'm working on a Starship Enterprise right now from Star Trek. So there's Legos in various states of assembly at our house all the time. But to speak to what you were saying about getting more girls involved with STEM, you know,
Which, by the way, let me just say, you have a master's in mechanical engineering.
Yes, I have a master's in mechanical engineering, a bachelor's in material science and engineering, and I'm a PhD candidate in the systems and engineering management
I
department.
should have sat next to you during math class.
Love math.
But no, I was going to ask you, so what made you keep going? Did you ever feel the pressure to drop out? And what made you keep going? And did you see other girls drop off?
Yes, I saw a lot of other girls drop off. What really, one time I was very discouraged from continuing a career in STEM. I went to, you know, I was a freshman at Stanford, where my youngest daughter, who grew up through all the FIRST programs, is currently a junior. And I went to talk to the career office because I'm like, I thought I wanted to be a physics major, but those guys are boring. You know, I'm really good with math. I'm really curious about science. I don't know what my career path is. And the gentleman, will never forget this because I bring it up all the time, he told me, well, you're a girl and you're good with math. Have you ever thought about accounting?
Oh.
And
Which everybody needs a little accounting in their life.
And
but
I'm going, yeah, that would be important, again, as my husband would say, you know, like balancing the checkbook. But it's one of those things where it's not, that didn't inspire me. That didn't, you know, give me that passion. And at the time, my husband, we were dating, and he goes, well, what do you like? And I'm always talking about pots and pans and cooking and which ones are best and, you know, which ones I want to buy when I, you know, become a big kid. And he's like, why don't you think about material science? And that was the most helpful information. It's like, it takes something you already really love and that you already know a lot about, and then you're able to get your degree in it. And then I took thermodynamics, which is, I don't care what anybody says.
Basically, I want to be,
great.
I think right now I want to be you. You're my superhero. But yeah, so when you say STEM, it's so much bigger than sometimes people put it into like a little corner. Like I said, math. I was jokingly saying just math. It's much more than that. But Lucian, explain what FIRST Robotics is, exactly how this program came about. You've been around for quite some time.
So FIRST Robotics was created back in the early 90s. Kind of was a heritage from something that they had started in MIT with Woody Flowers. And he had a class, and so they got together, they broadened it, And actually there were other robotics competitions that were also started back in the 90s, and FIRST really took off. And it really, what the main focus was at the beginning was putting students and engineers side by side, and working on robots.
Hands-on, yeah.
And then it was like, okay, we've got the high school thing kind of figured out. Let's go lower. So then they created FTC, and then lower than that, they created FLL. And then so it's really a pipeline of students that are doing that. And so it's about engaging students in engineering, let them go all the way through the pipeline, because and I guess a good example is you're trying to mimic the science. Like when we were children, we had science fair. We didn't have engineering fairs. We had science fairs, and the science community in this country has done a wonderful job throughout the years, and that's why we have so many.
Yeah. And you meet kids where they are. You have different programs: FIRST Lego League, grades K through 8; FIRST Tech Challenge, 7 through 12; FIRST Robotics Competition, 9th through 12 as well. All right, you have some students with us today, and so let's talk to Audrey. What has this program been like for you? And you are off to college soon.
Yes, ma'am. I'm attending Furman University in the fall to study chemistry, but I actually began robotics. I started with FLL, which is the robot that Lucian is holding now, in the 4th grade. So I've been in this program for a really, really long time, and it has been absolutely incredible. It has vastly expanded the engineering opportunities I've received, and it's also helped me grow as a person. Lauren, do you kind of want to talk?
I love when you're only 17, you go, I've been in it for a really, really long time. Yeah, right. And then we have Lauren next to you. If you would pass her the microphone and tell me, Lauren, what you love about this program.
Yeah, so what I love about FIRST Robotics and robotics in general is that the vast opportunities within it. You get to learn mechanical, electrical, and software skills. You get to learn how to use the router, the CNC, Creo, and then you get soft skills like teamwork, communication, and leadership, and you get to work with so many amazing people.
You're headed off to Vanderbilt?
Yes, I'll be attending Vanderbilt University in the fall for environmental engineering.
All right, what do y'all have right there? What's this?
So this is our FTC EveryBot. It's actually a robot we do for outreach. It's supposed to help the FIRST community. It can be built for less than $300, and it's a competitive design that any team can build and is super accessible.
Yeah, make it do something.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, okay. Oh, wow. Okay, there you go. All right, now pass the microphone down to Dion there. And Dion, tell me why you decided to get involved in this program and what's something that you can take from this program for the rest of your life.
I decided to get involved because of my mentor, Dr. Pryor, and also because of my fantastic peers that I've seen grow throughout the course of just my freshman year in high school. Both Nicholas and Alejandro began to become great people after they first started, and that inspired me and my fellow peers, Francisco and Ophie, to also join. Yeah. And we're still going strong, and we're juniors right now, so we're rising seniors.
Yeah. What does the future look like for you? The future look like for you, education-wise and career-wise? Yeah.
I plan to go into aerospace engineering, and during this program, I've actually gotten the chance to motivate myself to go out and get a drone certification for jobs that require people in the air.
You were so smart with that, because a lot of people don't realize for a lot of drone projects you have to have the certification, right? Even like if you're doing something like taking drone shots of a golf course or a community or whatever, you have to have that certification. And there's a lot of money in that, young man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So Francisco is next to you. And Francisco, you are 17 years old, 11th grade. What do you hope to do as a career one day?
For my career, I hope to enter into mechanical engineering, probably into a university like Texas A&M or UT Austin.
Okay, can I suggest UT Austin? You know they have the number one engineering school in Texas and one of the tops in the country. I'm just letting you know. Yeah.
That's the goal.
As a Texas ex, I'm just saying if I need to write a letter or something, please.
Ooh, for sure.
Yeah. But so what was it about this program that you loved? And had you not had this program, would that have been something that you would have been interested in?
I think for me, one of the most interesting things that led me to enter this program was definitely the robots, of course. It's just so awesome to see these kinds of things, and also the teamwork aspect of it, because there's a lot of people that are just like you, that have similar interests like you, and of course like people like my friend right here, Dion, or my friend in the crowd right here, Ophie. We just love making these kinds of things. And also another thing that I would like to do in the future is to do community outreach in my community acres homes, not just because FIRST is such an amazing opportunity for everyone, but because you just first it's not about just gaining information for yourself, but it's about giving it out to your community, not just helping yourself.
I love you for that, because as we know, there are lots of communities. Acres Homes is one of them that has a deep, rich history, but it has some challenges as well. And what you have proven to them is that those challenges are not bigger than you are, and your hopes and dreams can come true. And programs like this help these kids to do that and realize that. All right, you have a little, not little, actually, a big thing in front of you. Tell me what this is, and then launch it for me.
So this is our team's robot. We're 8818 from the FOFO engineering group from Acres Homes, Houston, Texas, and this was our capstone project, and we brought this to our first robotics competition.
All right, and there, fire away, there it goes. All right,
Whoa.
I have no doubt that between the four of you, you're going to solve some of the biggest problems we have in this world. But thank you so much for coming in this morning. Thank you so much for your leadership for these kids. Absolutely. The panel at Comicpalooza, Building the Future One Robot at a Time, is happening tomorrow at 1 p.m. They will be located at the Sapphire stage. For more information on FIRST Robotics and their panel, you can visit comicpalooza.com, and we'll get you connected with FIRST Robotics as well.